Okay, so the last thing we'll talk about today is table one. We'll be finding the density of some aluminum, and in this part it will be some irregular shaped aluminum. I'm going to turn off my camera and turn on the light. Again, I'm doing that so the light doesn't blind you on my video, and so we can see the things we're measuring. So we'll be doing this mass of the aluminum first. And let me go ahead and go to camera. And so here is our balance. And let me get rid of a few things out of the way here. And we'll open the balance. And we see that it is zeroed. Let me move that away. I think that might still work. So it asks for the mass of the beaker. What we're going to do instead of a beaker, I'm going to use what's called a weigh boat for this part. It looks like this. So we'll put that on the balance. And we saw that it was starting at 0. And we're adding, this is containing what we're putting on the balance. So when we had like a piece of glassware, like a graduated cylinder, we can put that directly on the balance. When we have, let me show you what this is going to look like. So this is in another way, but this is the aluminum pellets. We don't want to put any chemical, even if it's something that seems as innocuous as aluminum pellets, directly onto the balance. So we put something to contain them. And then we write down the mass of that, and then we write down the mass when they're together. So the mass you're seeing there is, looks like it's around, you know what, I need to turn that fan off again. I have a fan on in the room to help me cool off, but it's not helping during the experiments. So the mass there, it looks like it's 2.32 grams for the weigh boat. Some of you might be thinking, well, can't we just zero it with the weigh boat? We could do that. The reason we often don't is because if someone else is using the balance, you might have to kind of go back and forth. If you zero it, someone else might re-zero it. So just to be careful of that. Obviously, that doesn't matter when I'm the only one here making measurements. But this is also to be consistent with the way your lab is set up, and you want to be able to do this sort of calculation as well. So it looks like it's reading 2.33 grams. Stabilized there as the fan has turned off. And then we'll add some aluminum to that. That's there. So this is the mass. You would write this for the mass of the aluminum plus the beaker as 26.16 grams. So that's where you would put that. I'm going to just go back to the experiment really quickly. So we've basically done these first two lines here, and you'll have to do calculations for the next one. Okay, so what we'll be doing next is the mass, or the, I'm sorry, not the mass, the volume of, let me make sure I'm moving that in. So initial volume of water in cylinder. What we'll be doing is we'll be adding this irregular shaped metal to some water, and we'll observe the change in volume of that water. And based on that change in volume, we will find the volume of the metal itself. There was some discussion on a question related to this on the discussion board. So I think this is something many of you are kind of already familiar with how this might work. Getting our graduated cylinder set up here. And we need to zoom in on that a bit more. And seeing there's something in the chat, I'm going to go in and see what's going on there. So here, this is the volume of the water. And it looks like people are doing this without even, or background fill down there, without me doing any pumps here yet. So the 30 is here. We're kind of right below that. 25 would be down here. We're not showing the 20. You know what? Let me adjust this a little bit more. Okay, so let's go with that. One thing I'll go ahead and mention here. So there has been some numbers in the chat already. One of the reasons that I do this adjustment is because you want to be basically, maybe I can show this with the pen over here. You want to be looking at it kind of straight on, so straight ahead. So I'm trying to get the camera, so it's doing that. If you're looking down at an angle, so I'm gonna the window open here and make sure this is showing up. Maybe I'll do it over here. So if you're looking down, so see where that pin is, if you're looking at it like an angle like that, you're not going to correctly get the meniscus because you're looking at an angle. So we try to get the camera so it's lined up straight across. So that might be a little bit different than some of what I saw earlier, but probably close enough for using technology. So this is the initial volume of the liquid. Any questions so far? Okay, I'm going to go ahead and add the metal. Okay, so I'm going to show you what this looks like. So the metal is in the bottom of the graduated cylinder, is taking up some space. And because of that, the volume is changing. And the difference in volume is the volume of the metal. So let's adjust this so we're looking at what we want to. I think that will be good right there. So we have 30 down here, 35, and then 40. And then all of the marks in between. And again, you want to be guessing the last digit there. The camera's adjusting for a minute here. So this is our last measurement. I'm going to go back to the experiment to just talk us through what we just did. So we just did initial and final volume of the water. You'll need to do these calculations, and from those calculations, you'll be finding the density.